left undisputed. Michelle sued him, and ESPN removed him. Unkin 5. Now, here's the thing, bro. As y'all know, Shannon Sharpe has been fired from ESPN. Okay, and the issue here is it's too corporate, bro. Like, ESPN is falling off simply because they want to be too corporate. Understandable, they're on television. But when are we going to catch up with today's era? Today's era of some of these lawsuits do not require losing your brand deals and losing, your job and all these things. Shannon Sharpe was probably the second biggest thing that happened to First Take. I mean, honestly, there was a certain time where I was like, who is even on First Take? Who are they featuring? Like, why is, sometimes you have Stephen A. Smith and then Kendrick Perkins and then, what's her name? Shanae Ogumaka or something like that. And then just a bunch of nobodies after that. And the problem is also, there were times where I tuned into First Take and there was literally nobody that we know. Stephen A. Smith wasn't even there. Now you have Shannon. He was there a couple times a week. And he has some of the greatest takes on ESPN in a long, long time. He gave them the most viral moment in a long time. The Lakers in 5 thing. And you know what's crazy on top of that? They made him, because I'm not saying this is true. I don't know if they made him or not. But I think they made him, after he said the Lakers in 5 thing the first time, they made him come back and give 2 or 3 different versions of that. They made him come back and do it again because they wanted to remake that moment. They wanted to get another clip that goes viral. That's what they were thinking of. And now you fire him. And again, I'm not going to say they fired him because of the lawsuit. But right after he settled a $50 million lawsuit, accusing him of some crazy things, you choose to fire him. Now, I know they have the Pat McAfee show, which is doing very good. They have, Stephen A. Smith, First Take, which is doing very good. But let's not forget, First Take was struggling before Shannon got there. I don't know about the ratings, but I know content-wise, it was garbage. It was terrible. I mean, when Shannon was not there, honestly speaking, I was watching a little bit more Undisputed than I was watching ESPN First Take. I was watching the Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless podcast. And if you go back in this channel, I was so excited to see Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe sit across each other and debate basketball. No knock to Max, but I've watched Max on First Take, and I thought this was going to be an upgrade. I was so happy to see Shannon Sharpe on First Take, a debate show. I was happy to see takes that were, that made sense, that were knowledgeable. If it wasn't Max Kellerman, we had Kendrick Perkins. And we all know Kendrick Perkins is a wild card. I don't know how, no hate to Kendrick Perkins, but I don't know how he hasn't got fired. Like, some of the stuff he says is crazy. It's outrageous. Like, I don't know how he has not got fired. I don't want him to, but I'm just saying, the way ESPN is moving, I'm surprised. And then Shannon Sharpe comes out and he says this right here.
Obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week. And really, the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted to be about him, and I wanted to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for.
Now, this is sad. Like, not only did you fire him, you didn't respect him enough to just wait a little bit to announce it. After what he did for your company, for your show, you couldn't wait a couple more days and then announce it. He never told you not to go public with it. He never told you to hide it. He never told you not to tell the public. All he said is to delay it publicly so that it doesn't overshadow his brothers going to the Hall of Fame. It is going to be the first, well, it is going to be the first time. That's not going to end or stop. But it's the first time that two brothers make the NFL Hall of Fame. Do you know how big that is? And this is how you choose to treat him? And then think about it too. When the whole thing happened, when he got sued, on April 24th, he took a leave from ESPN. He left them. He took a step back. Then he settles the lawsuit and he gets fired. Now here's the thing. In today's age, 2025, settling lawsuits, you're damn near guilty. He might as well just have pushed forward and went to trial. I don't know how much money he would have lost. I don't know what was the settlement. I don't know, how much evidence was against him or if there was any evidence against him. But the fact that he lost his job because he settled a lawsuit, and again, I don't know if that's true, but the timeline suggests that. Him losing his job after settling is crazy. And the reason why I say it sucks to settle lawsuits, right after that, he has now been hit with another lawsuit, a defamation lawsuit, where a woman is claiming that they made false statements on his Club Shay Shay podcast, saying that she was married and she was not married. And that it cost her some money, this, that, and third, some damages to her character. And that's a $20 million lawsuit. Good luck, buddy. You about to be facing $1 million lawsuits now. You're going to have to fight one of these just to show that you're willing to take it to trial. Now, whether you lose or win, that's another story. But you're going to have to show that you will stretch your money to fight these. Because they are going to take advantage of you after you paid the first one. And especially if you pay the second one. That's crazy. Now, on the good side, though, now he's going to focus on his Club Shay Shay podcast. What's the other one? Nightcap, I think it's called. He's going to be able to focus on that. And him and Ocho Cinco, two funny characters. They fit very well with each other. I like their personalities individually and together. And I like their podcast. It's very entertaining. I like his interviews. I say his interviews are very entertaining. And his interviews are so good that I see clips make it to TikTok and actually go viral. And he knows, like, the generations. He taps in with the old heads. And then, people in the middle. And he'll tap in with, like, Aisha Speed, Kai Cenat. Like, the young people coming up. Or they're already up, but, they're still working. They're still in the game. The new leaders of, whatever's going on in the culture right now. And he has good interviews. He's not sitting there being too professional, but at the same time, he's not sitting there and removing the emotional part of an interview out of the interview either. Like, I think his interviews are probably the most balanced and best interviews right now. Including entertainment, including, viral clips, everything. It allows him to focus on that. So there's always a good and the bad side. And to be honest with you, I don't know how much ESPN was paying him. I forgot what his contract was looking like. But what I will say, I believe that him being able to focus on what he loves the most, which I think it should be his podcast and what he owns or what he's doing, by himself. I think he'll go far. And knowing Shannon Sharpe and his talent and how entertaining he is, I don't know if it will be ESPN, but eventually somebody will hire him. And that's if he wants to go back that route. Maybe not right away, but I'll give it till January. Somebody will hire him. And it sucks that it had to be right before the NFL season started because y'all know that's his thing. And just the way ESPN did it is so bad. Like, it sucks. Like, the way that they did it is like a slap to the face after he pretty much just saved one of your biggest shows. Let's be honest. Let's just keep it all the way 100. First Take was going downhill. There was so many times where I clicked it and it was like nobody. Whole bunch of nobodies. And the takes that they were giving were garbage. Some of the questions they were asking, garbage. The debates, garbage. There were no viral clips. There were no highlights. There was nothing. But then they fire Shannon Sharpe when he saved that whole show. That's crazy to me. Bad news, yeah. Thanks so much for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. This Real Talk with E. Safe.